Your lack of patience is why you're not getting what you want. Getting things in life, getting the things that you truly desire, having your goals set out and having a plan set out is all great and dandy. But the part where a lot of people tend to slip up is their lack of patience. And I'm speaking from personal experience here because it is something that I struggle with a lot. The phrase Rome wasn't built in a day is so real and it's so true. And I will say that with social media, it really pushes this idea that Rome was built in 24 hours. Impatience has always been there from the beginning, but what I will say is that with there being like quick dopamine hits from TikTok and Snapchat and Instagram and even YouTube, and you being able to have literally everything at your hands at all times. It's like if a web page does not load within 3 seconds, you are spam clicking the screen and completely turning your phone off and back on, and you think that your phone is broken because it literally just didn't load in 3 seconds. That's the level of impatience that's going on right now. That's the level of impatience that y'all have right now. And that's a different level of impatience at this point. I don't even know. I feel like there should be a new word for it. But the point is that when you already have those struggles, when you already have that mentality, it easily plays out in your success. You start to see it even more in your success, because when you are working towards something, when you are creating something, when you are building this life for yourself, instead of being patient, instead of taking the time to really understand what you're doing, why you're doing it, figuring out how you can do it, and really working hard in that, it's like you will work hard for only a week or a month, and if it doesn't work out, if you don't see results that quickly, then all of a sudden it's just not worth doing anymore. And that is completely sabotaging your success. When you are starting something and you have quit it, it's not because it wasn't going to work. It's not because the idea wasn't good enough. It's not because you weren't good enough. It was simply because you didn't give it enough time to actually work in the first place. When you are not giving yourself the adequate amount of time to see success, you will think that you are losing. You will think that things are not going to work out for you. You will think that things are not going to go your way simply because they didn't go your way from the very beginning. There is a time period where things are occurring, things are building up, your work is starting to have that compiling effect, and you won't always see things happening for you right away. That's just how it is. Some people, they get it quicker than others. That is very much true. But for the average person, for the average situation, you do have to work and you have to give it time. So many millionaires, so many successful business people, they went years without seeing any money come in. In fact, years of them straight up losing money. But because of their patience and their resilience is why they're at where they are now. Patience is more than just sitting back and waiting. It's also about continuing and putting in that work and continuing to grow for a long period of time. That doesn't mean that it has to take forever for you to see something happen. It doesn't mean that it has to take forever for you to see growth, for you to see money coming in, for you to see what you're wanting to see. It doesn't mean that it has to take forever, but it just means that it may take longer than that time frame that you've given yourself. It may just take longer than your giving up period of like, I'm going to give up if it doesn't work out in a month. Like, if you have that type of mindset going into it, you are literally giving up before you ever give yourself the chance to thrive. You are giving up before you ever give yourself the chance to see success. So that's where you have to break out of that mindset. You have to break out of that way of thinking. You have to break out of this idea that things need to happen in a snap. Things can happen very quickly for somebody. Things can happen very quickly for you. But if you just don't give it the time to be able to even do that, you are literally shooting yourself in the foot. You're saying that it's indefinitely not going to happen because you already stopped it right here and right there. I highly suggest to overcome this lack of patience is to, one, get off of short form content, or at least at the very least minimize it, because short form content is heavily contributing to your struggle with paying attention, your struggle with staying on top of things, your struggle with having this long attention span, short form content, it's definitely contributing to your struggle with sticking to something. So I highly suggest that you take the time to actually figure out how long you're on short form content and make a conscious choice to either completely get off of it or to limit it. And when you start to doom scroll, catch yourself. Pay attention to the time. Set a timer on your phone when you do start to scroll so that you are aware of how long you're actually spending on there. And a 30-minute period can literally feel like it's been 5 minutes when you're doom scrolling. So it helps you to not go hours and hours and hours just scrolling. And yes, you are consuming brain rot 90% of the time, so it's not helping you from a psychological or intellectual perspective. But at the same time, all of that does destroy your patience, and your patience can always be rebuilt. And so that's what you are doing right now, is you are rebuilding it through taking away the things that are constantly hurting and harming it. I also will say to go for walks. Walks are very good when it comes to just clearing out your mind. There are a lot of benefits of walks, but for this very specific purpose, I'm talking about going on walks because when you are walking through a neighborhood and you don't have music playing and you don't have your phone out, you're really forced to focus on your surroundings. You're really forced to focus on just taking in everything as it is. And walking is not very fast unless you're speed walking, which, I mean, you do you, but generally walking is not a fast sport. It's not exciting. So you are going to have to get used to slowing down, and you're forcing yourself to slow down. The next thing that I suggest that I'm currently working on myself is reading. When you are just sitting down and you're reading a book, that is the complete opposite of going on TikTok. In fact, I would say that it would be of benefit for you to begin reading books about the things that you have interest in when you are scrolling on TikTok, so that you can still learn, you can still satisfy your curiosity without having to sacrifice your patience at the same time. But generally, just reading a book will force you to slow down. You have to literally look at each word by word. There's no subtitles with somebody screaming the pages at you. No, you have to slow down to actually go through it page by page. And it can get very boring. But I tell you what, not only are you learning, so pick a book that you actually like, don't pick some random philosophy book that you really don't care about. Pick something that you actually like. But through sitting down, you begin to just enjoy the nature of being. You get to enjoy the nature of learning without all the hyper amped up colors, talking, movement, clips every 2 seconds. Like, you get the chance to actually slow down and enjoy the learning process as it's meant to be. And all these things will help you to fully enjoy life as it's meant to be enjoyed. Because when you are constantly rushing, when you are constantly going, it hurts your success because you're not able to make good decisions. You're not able to have as good critical thinking. You're not able to really think about the decisions that you're making before you make them. And then you haven't taken the time to really learn life and think about life and have patience in life in order to make a good decision to begin with. But also, through slowing down, it allows you to just enjoy life, period. You got this. You will see the success that you want. Just take a breath and slow down, because it will happen. Your hard work will pay off. You just need to chill out a little bit. So do the things that you need to do. And if there is anything that you feel really helps with building patience and helping with that whole journey, please leave it in the comments below. If you did enjoy today's video, please consider subscribing, and please make sure to take care of yourself. Please make sure to take care of yourself physically, mentally, spiritually, and financially. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.